Hello everyone, welcome in. I hope you guys are doing well. It's Wednesday, which feels weird. Bonk. Because Wednesday streams tend to not happen. So I'm glad that today it worked. Thank you for the bonk yams. So, yeah, we're gonna be doing podcasts today. I was gonna do Genshin, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to scale back a little bit on the intensity of Streamlabs on my internet just for today because last stream was so unsuccessful. Which, by the way, obviously that VOD is not going up on YouTube at all because what the fuck? What the fuck was that, you know? It's just a whole garbled mess, so we're gonna completely ignore that and pretend it didn't happen, because it technically did not happen on Twitch, it only happened on Discord, so. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. It's Wednesday. I had a training today, and I'll talk about that, because, like I said, today's the podcast day. But yeah, I wasn't really supposed to work, and then they were like, a couple days ago, they were like, hey, yeah, you're gonna be working, and you're gonna go an hour away from your house just to sit in a 2-hour training, and you're gonna know everything that's already happening in there, simply because we need a third game. So, that was fun. That was fun. But, yeah. As always, I will promote the fact that I have art commissions open at ko-fi.com/RobinK5, and they are currently 10% off with the code NY10 until the end of the month. And I have a Discord, !Discord for that link. I'm really glad I started with that one song that I started stream with today. It's called Julienne. I really miss that song. I used to listen to that song a lot, and it made me happy. I should probably listen to that song more, huh? Well, we're gonna hop into it. Fix my model there, but welcome in, everyone. We're gonna be talking about small business woes and the effect that ADHD has on my small business and my daily life, but mostly because of my small business. So for those of you who may not know, I own a little small business. Also, let me know how the music is in the background. I'll turn it down just a little bit more. I have a small little business. I make and sell jewelry. And I don't really share it online simply because it is very local to where I live. And also because Etsy tells you where it ships from, and I don't like that. I like it as a shopper, but as a seller, I don't like it. Because I don't like people looking at it and being like, oh, that's where she lives. You know what I mean? I don't like that. But anyways, point being. So, I have not done any live sales. Like in-person sales since... Oh gosh, when was this one? November? Was it November? I don't have my phone on me. I can't even check. Hi, Donnie. Welcome in. You're focused on drawing. What you drawing? Hi. Happy 13 months. Yeah, so I believe my last live sale was... No, it was early December. It was like December 2nd or something, I think. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, sorry, my brain is... I'm a mess. My work thing today was just fucking stupid. I'll probably end up talking about that eventually. But yeah, I'm scattered. I'm so sorry. I'm actually gonna... So you guys can still hear the music. I'm taking off my headphones, which is something I don't normally do. I just want to be able to focus on what I'm saying. But I also want to have background noise, so that's why... No one cares. The real height of in-person, like, I call them live sales. It's when you go to like an event, like a physical event, and you that's where you sell your stuff besides online. Like, having an online presence is obviously key, but you can also go in person, which I like doing. And I have only done 1, 2, 3, 4 total, I believe, and I only started last year. But let me start by talking about how I got started with selling live. So I've got a friend, we don't really talk a lot anymore, but it was back in probably February. No. I don't remember, but it was early last year. She was letting me know that she was keeping an eye out for any live sales, like events and stuff that are looking for vendors, which is what I am. That is what you are considered when you go in person to an event and you sell your stuff. You're called a vendor. She said she was keeping her eye out for any events that were looking for vendors, so that way I could get my name out there. That way I could start spreading my like product around. I started carrying business cards in my pocket. I still do sometimes when I'm wearing like something I made. But she found an event for a cancer walk. And it wasn't that far from where we live. She's my neighbor. And she was like, hey, there's someone I know is having a cancer walk for this girl who passed. And they're looking for vendors. Would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, send me the info. So she sent me a screenshot of everything, and I sent the lady a message, and I got confirmed. And normally these events are all paid events. Well, not normally, they all are paid events. You have to pay for a spot. It's just how it works, because how else are you going to reserve your spot? But this event, this cancer walk, was not paid in the traditional sense, where I send money to just the event organizer as a hold for my space. What I sent it to was actually St. Jude's Research Center, and I just had to send a screenshot of my donation. And I did that, and that's when I was like, oh shit, this is actually something I can do. Like, I can actually go and show my product to people in person, as opposed to like just hoping that someone will come across my online shop. Because I do have, I'm trying to keep an online presence, but it's very difficult when you have to keep remembering to post and to share like everything, That's the thing I have difficulty with, is keeping my shop page updated on Instagram. And that's I still struggle with that. Again, I don't have my phone on me, but I can't tell you the last time that I posted on there, which is bad, I know. I'm not painting myself in a good light here. I'm well aware. But I'm trying, and that's the important thing, is I'm trying. So as soon as I got approved for that event, I knew there was an event in September that I wanted to be a vendor at, because I've gone there to this event so many times over the past decade. It's like this massive community day, and there's people from all over that come to it, and they've got live music playing, and they've always got a ton of vendors, and like food trucks, and games, and all sorts of stuff. And I knew that I wanted to be a vendor at that event when I started making jewelry. That was like my goal, was to go and be a vendor there because it's just so big. It's just such a large event. So eventually I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye out on this page so that way I can like keep up to date and be one of the first people to apply and this, that, and the other. And when you know, a few weeks later, it actually went up the applications. So I signed up, I sent the money, and I got confirmed. And now we're talking like April that I got approved for that. This event wasn't until September. That gives you an idea of how big and how involved this event is. So I was really excited when they were like, yeah, no, you're good, you're coming. I got really excited. So, then I just kept looking. I'm like, well, what other events can I do? And this is even before I did my very first event. Like, so back in April, when this event's the first event that I did wasn't until May. I was looking even back then for extra events that I could do. So fast forward to May, which is when the very first event, the Cancer Walk, was. I was so nervous. It was outdoors, so I had to borrow a canopy. Like the big ones that you set up outside and it's got like the thing on top of it. I borrowed a canopy and a table from my uncle, and they came and they helped us set it up. And they were there for the first like half an hour, but it was fun. It was fun meeting people who were actually genuinely interested in the product that I had to sell. And it was also very interesting to see it from the other point of view, because I was so used to being the customer on the outside and just kind of like seeing the display and not really thinking about the logistics and like the display of everything, you know? And I learned a lot. I'm just laughing thinking about it because at the time all I had to offer were earrings, and I do these like chip bottles, like crystal chip bottles, and like little, they're called like bingsu beads, but I call them like tiny tube confetti. And I also had that in orbs, and then I have charm earrings and stuff that I sell as well. And stupid me was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna use like an earring stand that you would keep like in your house, like for your own personal earrings to hang them up on. I was like, oh, I'll just use that. So I bought 2 of them, and they kept falling over because they were not stable. They were like thin, cheap plastic. They kept falling. It was funny because I didn't know that I needed something more stable. But I made out pretty decently that day. I made $150 in sales for my first ever event. And I was, I think, one of the only sellers that was not an MLM that actually had handmade products. There was like 2 other sellers that made handmade products. But then again, there were also only like 15 people total, like 15 sellers total. So think about that though. That's how much, what percent is that? 20%? Only 20%. Less than, well, I'm just thinking of math, sorry. About 20% of the sellers were handmade items. And the other 80 were MLM. And for those who aren't aware what MLM is, first of all, how do you not know what an MLM is? But secondly, it's a pyramid scheme. where the people at the top make the most and the people at the bottom are working, and the money that they make is really just, you know, helping the people that are above them and they're making very little. That's a pyramid scheme, or an MLM. Multi-level marketing. So I kept note of that, you know? And throughout the summer, I was like, you know, kind of relying on my friend, but she wasn't really finding anything. And then I found a group where they post events. People post their events for others to apply to. And that's how I found another one, which I was supposed to go to the weekend after the event that I applied to back in April. And I went to the one, I was like, you know, really excited about that, and that one ended up getting postponed because of weather to the next month. But that's getting a little ahead of myself. So this next event comes up, the one I applied to back in April, that I waited months and months and months. Hi, Kiora, welcome in, how you doing? I waited months and months, and I got, like, actual, like, earring cards to hang. Well, I already had, like, earring cards, but I hung them up, and I got, like, one of those turny things. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like it's an earring hook thing, but it spins, and you can, like, put earring back cards on them, you know? But I know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, that, I bought 2 of them, I think, and then at that point, I decided it would be cool if I did, make your own necklaces. So, I bought, like, those cages. You're cold, it's been snowing all day. I am so cold. I currently have I have a really large hoodie, and I had the heater on earlier before stream, so it's nice and warm in my room now. It's nice and warm in here. And I have all the doors shut because I don't want the heat to escape. So I bought cords, like those black cords, and I attached crystal cages to them. And then I got a thing of loose crystals. Hi, James. Welcome in. You have your heated blanket. Your heated blanket. Blanket. Wait, you use water for hot chocolate? You're a different person than I imagined. For a blanket. And then I bought a thing of, like, loose, small crystal chips that would fit into those crystal cages. And I ended up selling them, and people really enjoyed them. And I was really excited to be able to offer something else, you know? Because I kind of, like, had my shit together at that point. You'll leave a little... Wow.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker. Yeah, I was, you know, I was excited to be able to offer more than just earrings, because my shop is, like, year-round spooky vibes, you know? Cheryl, unless you don't want me to have breakfast tomorrow. Robin, don't yell at me. Didn't you say that you had waffles in your freezer? Kiora? You literally... You said you had waffles in your freezer. Are you a liar or a traitor? Sorry. Oh my god. They're gone. How many did you eat? Did you eat the entire stack? Oh my god. I have to adjust myself. I'm, like, sliding in my chair. Honk. So I'm just thinking. So being able to bring 3 left. Bonk. We'll buy more. So I was really excited to be able to offer more than just earrings. You know, being able to offer the vibe in another way. So I was really happy to do that. I made over $300 that day in sales. And that is the best I have done in any of my events so far. And I really want to go back there again because it was a lot of fun. But moving forward, it was time for the event that had gotten postponed. That was supposed to be the next weekend. And at that point, I also had applied for an event in early December, which is the last one that I did, but regardless. So we're talking, it's October now. So it's peak spooky season. And it was really cool because of the way it was set up. It was like in this park, and there was a gazebo in the center, and there's 4 pathways leading to this gazebo. And they told us to set up along the pathways. So it was like all the pathways leading to this main gazebo, which had music playing, was all lined with vendors. It was really cool. I really liked how everything was set up, and it was so pretty because it was just in like peak fall, and it was like a commercial for fall because there were orange leaves all over the place and they were falling from the trees all around everyone. It was so cinematic looking. It was so cool. But that was not the worst day. The worst sales I've had, but it was the second worst sales that I've had. Because people just weren't buying. They weren't buying. And I even went up to this other vendor, because I like to take a look around and see who's selling what. And I went up to this other seller and we were chatting, and I ended up buying, I bought one thing off of her and then we did a trade for the second thing. And I asked her, I was like, are you like actually getting sales? Are people actually like stopping at your booth and buying things? And she was like, no, this is probably the poorest I've ever done. And I wasn't surprised, unfortunately. I think I made, how much did I make? I don't remember exactly how much I made that day, but all I know is I barely, very barely made my money back on just the application fee for that event. I made enough for the application fee and the product exchange that I did because it was worth $40. So I think in total I made maybe a little bit over $80. But my fee was $40 and the product exchange was $40, so I ended up making like maybe $6 to $10. It was not pleasant. It was not great. It was not great at all. So, yeah, I don't think I'll do that one again. But that's part of the woes of a small business, is you can never be certain, like, what event is going to do well and what event is not going to do well. And that's something that I don't really enjoy about the whole small business thing. And that it's hard, you know? It's hard to like try and, you know, you do your best and you make a bunch of stuff. I mean, Kiora, you remember I made a ton of earrings. I made so many bottle earrings, and I still have that stock today, which is a good thing. It's a good thing because I don't have to make more, but I made those anticipating that all of them would be sold by now. And they didn't. Because you can't be certain if people are going to actually buy your product. You can ask the creators of the event, like, what's your projected, not outcome, your projected foot traffic, I guess? You can ask them that, and they can give you a number, and you can make enough for that number, but that's not a guarantee that people are actually going to want to buy it. And I want to keep doing these events, is the thing. I love doing these events because I get to share my product with everyone. But it became very evidently clear on my last event that I did, which was December, early December, that not everyone's gonna like your product, and chances are you're probably not going to make your money back if you choose the wrong event, which is what I did. I don't either, but the product speaks for itself. Because people like the charms that I have. I have like paw prints, I've got bees, I've got honeycombs, I've got witch hats, I've got swords. I've got all sorts of things, and then I also have the crystal chip earrings, and then I have the bingsu bead earrings, and then I have the choose your own necklaces. I even sell like crystals, and I sell stickers and carvings and things like that. Like, it's people who want that will already gravitate towards that. It's hard. It's hard for me having such ADHD tendencies, and also being on the spectrum a bit. That's very difficult because it's very difficult for me to maintain eye contact, to maintain a conversation, to try to upsell. I hate the idea of upselling. I hate it. That's why I could never be in a sales position. So I struggle with that, you know? But the other part of the small business thing is I've stuck to one theme, which is jewelry and crystals and witchy things. That's like my shop theme. I have wanted to stray. I wanted so hard to stray into selling sets of nails. For anyone who doesn't know, I do my own nails, and I constantly get compliments on them, and people are always like, oh my god, I love your nails. Do you sell them? Do you do nails? You know, this, that, and the other. People want me to sell my nails. And part of me wants to start offering that as part of my shop. But the other part of me is like, no, that's a completely different business. That's not crystal and witchy and jewelry. That is nails. That is something completely different. And so I'm torn between wanting to offer it and knowing that if I'm going to offer it, I gotta make a new page and I gotta advertise that, even though I'm having trouble simply staying afloat with the current page that I have that's inactive, I'm struggling enough with that. And then very rarely actually getting sales through Etsy. I got one random sale around Christmas, and I sent it in time for a Christmas gift. But they had gotten my card through one of my events. So I know that it works. It just doesn't feel like it does, because it takes so long to see the payoff of the event, Which is not great. It sucks, So that last event that I did in December, I think I made $40. That's it. I only made $40. So, not pleasant. So it kind of made me not want to do live events anymore because I was in a mood about it. because I hadn't done an event in a few months, and I was just really excited, and I thought people would like it because it's Christmas time, and, you know, people are looking for gifts, and you know, there's plenty of people in my area that are into that kind of stuff. So I thought, okay, this is a good opportunity for people to pick up a Christmas gift. But I barely made $40. And I think the event cost was 30 or it was either, I think it was 25. So I think in total I made maybe 15 bucks off of that event. So, not great. And then I ended up giving away a necklace and some crystals to a little girl because she was really cute. She kept coming up to my table because her mom was like across the aisle from us, and she kept coming over and talking and like looking at all the stones and looking through the earrings and the jewelry. So I ended up putting together a little bag with some stickers and some stones and a necklace in it, and I gave it to her mom, and I was like, your daughter kept coming over, here you go, you can give it to her as like a Christmas gift. And her mom was like, are you sure? What booth are you? I want to pay you. And I was like, don't bother, it's fine. She kept coming over, so in a way I was entertaining her daughter, and I was like, don't worry about it, just give it to her as a Christmas gift, you know? But that was essentially the last of the profit that I would have made. So, yeah, I ended up making like no money, technically. I know what it's like to keep going past tables and being like, oh, that looks nice, I want that. But then knowing like, oh, I probably wouldn't be able to get that, you know, and especially as like for a little kid who doesn't have their own money, like, you know, she kept coming over to my table, and she kept coming over like for the whole time that the event was going on. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it to her. So I did. So I ended up making basically no profit at that event. And it was very disheartening, and it still is. But now that we're in the new year, people are posting events for spring, which is when things start picking back up. I gotta say that vending is definitely seasonal. More events happen between spring and fall than winter. Like, there's plenty of winter events for Christmas and things like that, but not as many that are popular, I guess, because, and this is the thing that sucks, most people just will buy it through Amazon, and they won't even think to go to a handmade shop, you know, a handmade online shop that is trying to fuel their, you know, fuel their life, fuel their dreams. Someone will just buy it online on Amazon or eBay or whatever, and it just it's disheartening, you know. It's hard, but you know, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. So now I'm starting to look into events in the spring, and there's a handful that I'm interested in. I know more and more are gonna come out as time goes on. But the other problem with all these events going on is so many of them choose the same days as other small, like, big events choose the same days as other smaller events. So they take more people to that event than this small event will. You know, a larger event's gonna pull more people, which sucks. So everyone wants to go to the larger events, but the larger events cost more money. Or they're not local to me. That's my problem, because there's a couple events that I've wanted to do, but they're like $50 for a spot. And I don't even know if I'm gonna make $50 given the last event that I had, you know? And it's hard because I want to make my table look more presentable as time goes on. I want it to grow. I want it to look nicer. But it's hard to do that when I'm not even making money off the events that I'm doing now. You know, how am I supposed to be able to upgrade my shit if I don't make the money to upgrade it, you know? That's my issue. So, I guess now I can kind of go into like the ADHD part of it, which I kind of was already touching on already. It's mostly the fact that like there's just so many events where I look at them and I look at the cost and I'm like, okay, I'm free that weekend, or I can make myself free that weekend. But like, it's I want to do all the events is the problem. I want to do them all. So I need to, you know, pick and choose which one would be the better event. And it's hard to pick and choose because you, again, like I keep saying, you never know. You never know if one event's going to be bigger than another. And again, even asking, like, the event organizers, sorry, I'm tying up my hair. Even asking the event organizers is never going to give you a solid answer because they can give you one answer. It's like Pokemon Pro. Yeah, kind of. Like, I wish I could do them all. I do. I wish I could do all the events. I would love to do all the events. But the other part is, I don't drive. So I can't, I have to ask other people for a ride to these events. You know? Okay, Kiora. Okay. So now the ADHD part of it, which again I was touching on a bit with the events, but also started touching on with the nails. Because yes, my business is mostly focused on witchy things and jewelry, but I've wanted to expand into nails, which is not the same thing. There's another thing that I wanted to do that I've seen maybe once or twice in conventions, which is another thing I want to do. I want to do conventions, but it's so difficult to do conventions because they're so expensive and there's none really local to me. I'd have to go all the way up to the city and I'd have to carry all that shit, and there's no way I could carry all of that at once. It's just a whole thing. Oh gosh, please, brain. Oh yeah, so it's like a little jar, right? And it's got like a cork bottom, and it's flat, and then it's just a tall dome. And then you can put whatever you want inside. I want to do that. I want to do that so bad. And I want to put like little moss and skulls and crystal chips and like just stuff. I want to do that. I want to do that so bad. But I'm like, I can't. I shouldn't. Because I'm making jewelry. I don't need to expand it, you know what I mean? It would be cute, but oh dear lord. You know what I mean? Dear lord. I don't need to be spending more money on things that I don't even know if they're gonna sell. Do it? Oh Jesus. I will think about it. I will think about it. But that's my problem, is there's so many things that I want to do, that I want to sell, that I'd love to sell, but I don't know if they would sell. Although I feel like it would kind of go with the whimsical theme, the mystical stuff, making like a little terrarium thing, you know? I'll be your vendor, tell me what you need. I will make your dreams come true. It's like, it kind of would fit with my theme. It would be better than nails, you know? But at the same time, it's the cost, and it's the startup cost of it, and then I don't know where to price that, you know? But I do want to do it, and that's the other thing, is I don't want to start making these new little things if I don't even have any events lined up right now, which I don't. I have no events lined up, so why would I start making new shit if I don't even have an event to sell it at yet, you know? But the Cancer Walk is supposed to happen again this year, so I'm looking forward to getting an email about that, hopefully. And then the community day that I went to, that I made $300 at, that happens every year, so I'm keeping my eye open for when that's gonna go on. The other two I don't think I'm gonna do, but if I do decide to start doing like nails, or if I start doing like the little whimsical thing, I might look into doing that. Maybe the one that's at the one with the gazebo, not the other one, because the other one was inside the school that I went to elementary school with, and it was small, and there was like no one there at all. It was kind of awful. But that's the problem with like owning a small business, and you have a vision for what you want to sell, and for me, that's jewelry. But then you start thinking about it, and you're like, damn. But what if I also sold this? But what if I also sold that? And that's the thing. It's like, so many people have asked me if I sell nails. I want to do it. I do. However, the issue comes to sizing. Because I use full I use full coverage tips on my nails. And then I design them as it, you know, And, the problem is, everyone's nails are so different. You know, it's hard because my set is going to be different to your set, which is going to be different tips. Your tips. Your, please. My lord. But like, my nail size is going to be different to your nail size, which is going to be different to your friend's nail size, which is going to be different to someone else's nail size. Oh my god. No. That's just your dirty mind, alright? That's just your dirty mind. Yeah, Kiora, come on. Oh my god. But yeah, no, anyways, so it's hard to put those out there to sell, because how are you gonna know what size your nail is when every tip is different from every kit that I get? Literally every kit I get, like, that has tips in it, they're all a different fucking size. And it's so weird. Like, I have really long coffin ones, and they're a different size than my short coffin ones, which are a different size from my medium coffin ones, which are a different size from my medium almond tips. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I can't make sets because of how different they are. Like, I have a bunch of people's nail sizes written down. Like, I have my own, I have Donnie's, and then I have two of my coworkers, and all of us have different nail sizes. So if I wanted to do that, I would have to custom measure every person, write down what they want, write down their sizes, custom make them, and then ship them to them. Honestly, I could do that. Actually, not a bad idea. I might actually do that. I might actually do that. Anyways, yeah, but then it comes in as it's a whole different business thing, you know? Like, that would be the advertising for that. You know? It's an entire thing, and it's ridiculous. Owning a small business and having ADHD and being on the spectrum is not fun. It's not fun. But what I will say is I'm very on top of my sales when it comes to online sales. That's easy. Does anyone have any questions about small businesses, and like if you've gone to like an event where there's people selling stuff? Do you have any questions about that kind of stuff that maybe I can give you an inside look to? ADHD gang, let's go! Because if not, I have other things I can talk about when it comes to small businesses and selling in person. So something that I didn't even think about was the fact that, can't think of any questions, that's fair. I didn't think about just like advertising in general. And when I say advertising, I don't mean like on Instagram or Facebook or any of that sort of thing, but like in person. Like when you go around, how everyone's got like a shop sign or like some sort of display that says the shop's name. That's something I didn't think about until I went to that first event. Like a few weeks before I went to that event, and I thought about it. I was like, damn, I don't have anything to like advertise my business. So I ordered a banner online and it was too big. But that's something that I didn't even think about is the banner that goes into it. You know? Like all the little costs add up. That's another thing. Like things cost so much sometimes. Like the outdoor canopy that I was talking about earlier, I borrowed it from my uncle for the first 3 events that I went to. The 4th one was indoors. I borrowed it from him. And that was my plan, was anytime there was an outdoor event, I would just borrow it from him because he had no issues with it, with me borrowing that. And then for Christmas, my brother brought over this big, massive box to me. I have 2 brothers. My one brother brought over this big, huge, massive box, like really tall, and it was so unbelievably heavy. Like I could barely lift it. And he said to open it, so I stayed sitting down and I opened it. My brother bought me a canopy. Those canopies are really fucking expensive. Really expensive. And he bought me one of my own. And that was probably the first time I ever felt like someone believed in this small business that I have. You know? Like, that was the first time someone did something in regards to the small business that felt like a push forward, you know? Like a go out and do something with it, you know? It was the first time I felt that in regards to my business. And I very much almost cried. Like those canopies. I'm curious. I want to look one up really quickly just so I can give you guys a reference point of how much they are. No, not Best Buy. Best Buy and Amazon are right next to each other on my home screen. Not home screen. I know what I'm talking about. Those things are over $100 each. Like, they're expensive. And he just got me one for Christmas. Like, I was in disbelief when I opened that box. I was like, are you kidding? This really? And he's like, yeah, really. So it really felt like a good push, you know? And that, I think, was one of the pushes that made me want to go back out there, especially after everything that happened with, like, the last 2 events that I did that were unsuccessful. That was kind of a push of, like, pick yourself up and go back out and do it, you know? So, I definitely will keep going and doing events, you know? Even though it might be difficult, I'm gonna keep doing it, because I like doing it. I like being able to go out and show what I've got to sell. I'm just thinking, like, what else? What other sort of things? Oh yeah, like packaging. Packaging is another thing that you don't even really think about. But like, I had to get baggies, and I had to get stickers, and I had to get business cards, and I had to get thank you cards. I got a custom I got a custom stamp to stamp on all of my business cards and thank you cards with my shop logo on it. Like, little costs like that you don't really think about. And another cost that you don't really think about is, like, the holder that you're going to place your product on, and the holders for your business cards and your thank you cards, and decorations for the table to kind of spruce it up, or like a letter board to give your customers an idea of what's on the table and what's for sale. Things like that you don't even think about, you know? And something else that I didn't even consider that became more prominent over the last 2 events that I did, that a lot of people started asking, was things like Cash App and Venmo. A lot of businesses are using that. And that's something I didn't consider. But I definitely think I need to do that. I need to make a business profile for those in order to accept more customers. That's another thing, is like simply accepting cards. That is difficult because there's a company called Square that partners with Etsy, and when you sign up for Square using your Etsy account, you can select like the plugin that you want for live sales. And I happen to choose one with a headphone jack. Unfortunately, my new phone, which was supposed to be here today and ended up not arriving, and it's going to be here tomorrow, it's a whole thing and I'm pissed off about it, does not have a headphone jack. So now I have to figure out what to do. Is this going to be the year of Venmo sales? Maybe. But surprisingly, cash is king at these events. Cash is king, which is something that you don't really expect. You know, like, cash sales just in general, especially me being a grocery store worker, I've seen this firsthand. Cash sales are declining because people don't like carrying around cash. People just use their card. Or Apple Pay, or Samsung Pay, or Google Pay, or whatever. They don't carry cash. Kiora! King! King! King. Crown, queen, and king. But people don't mix of cash and card. I literally never use cash. I only use card, and the only time I ever get out cash is to pay my mom. I pay my mom $50 every week, and then I pay her for the phone bill. Yeah, since when is cash pink, Kiora? But I never use cash. I always use card. Well, yeah, but you're in Canada. I'm in the United States. America! Fuck yeah! Yeah, exactly. Like, not a lot of people use cash anymore. But very surprisingly, no, I believe you, Kiora. I believe you. These events are very heavily cash-oriented, which is shocking. Very shocking, you know? I've had that last event that I went to in December, every single one of my sales, except for maybe one because it was like a kid buying stickers, every single one of my transactions were cash. Like, every single transaction was cash. I made 0 card sales. I'm that one person in group hangouts who gives people cash instead of Venmo at cons. That's very true. Very true. That's another... Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Because when you think about it, like... those are also vendors, and... Yeah. Yeah. But you know, like, it's strange to me, because I'm so used to using card all the time. I will need to actually purchase American money for your trip in May. Oh, that's right. You're going to California, right? There's exchange centers and stuff. I know. Nightbot sometimes just really likes to push it. Nightbot especially likes to push it. Also, I don't know why, but this entire time my heart has been like pounding with like anxiety. And I don't know why. Like, it's still going. I don't know why. I don't know why it's still pounding like this. But, no, it's, see? Nightbot, please! I guess it's because I haven't really done a well, I have done a podcast episode recently, but I guess because this stuff is more real life oriented, and I'm afraid to accidentally slip up and say something that'll be, identifiable, maybe? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to be able to figure out, like, my business, things like that, simply because I don't, literally, I would, yes, accidentally dox myself. That's yes. Because the thing is, I would have zero problems with sharing my shop with you guys, except for the fact that goddamn Etsy shares where your seller is from. If it wasn't for that, I would have no problem sharing that with you guys. But it's just ridiculous, you know? But I'd have no problem sharing the shop otherwise. I know. SMH my head. But you know what doesn't share the location of your seller? Ko-Fi. And I have art commissions open at ko-fi.com/RobinK5, and they're 10% off until the end of, not the end of July, the end of January with code NY10. Shameless plug. Anyways. You feel like a VIP. I hate they do that, or if they do it. Yeah, I feel like it should be an option. I hate that, you know? So ridiculous. But, no, anyways, so things like that is just, you know, it's hard to be able to. Okay, my fucking. When I did my nails, I guess I missed a spot. Oh, yeah, that's right, Kira, I forgot. That was like a year ago. It was so expensive to ship to Canada, y'all. It was so damn expensive to ship to Canada. It was so expensive. Yeah. It's, you know... I wish events were cheaper. Nah, you're fine. I wish events were cheaper, and then, I don't know. I wish it was easier to grow a business. No. No. Anyways. I wish that growing the business was easier. It's hard to, you know... No, he didn't. I thought Gucci opened the door because I felt a gush of wind at my ankles. But it's hard. It's difficult to stay on top of it. You know? But yeah, I need to look for events and things like that. I don't really have much else in terms of small business stuff that I want to cover, or really ADHD things. I've kind of actually covered everything that I wanted to cover in the span of an hour. That's actually not terrible. So if anyone has any questions, last minute questions, feel free to ask. If not, we will start wrapping up shortly. You missed the ADHD stuff. ADHD, what did I even say? ADHD stuff? ADHD stuff. I was essentially just saying that it makes me want to do every single event possible, but all the events cost money to enter into to save your spot, and also distance. And then my stuff that I sell is more like witchy and whimsical and things like that, and it's all jewelry. But my ADHD brain is like, but what if you also offered nails? But what if you all like press-on nails? And what if you, excuse me, and what if you also offered like little terrarium setting things? And what if you also offered this and that? Like, that's my problem. But then my other problem that is ADHD is wanting to go and see all the other sellers and what they're selling, but also needing to stay at my booth because my mom doesn't understand how the selling app works. So like, she can sit there and watch the table all she wants. That doesn't mean anything because she's not able to complete the sales. She doesn't understand how it works because she's very tech stupid, you know? She's tech dumb. So I can't tell her what to do because it'll go in one ear and right out the other, and if someone's interested in buying something while I'm over at another booth, they can't buy it until I come back, and I hate to leave anyone waiting. You know what I mean? Waiting is annoying enough as is. Yeah, classical parent. So, that's my problem. And it's ridiculous and annoying. And also very first world problem, you know? But it's just hard to keep the priority of my shop straight when there's so many other things that my brain wants to go do, wants to go see, wants to experience, when I know physically I can only go so far to events. I can only spend so much on events, and I can only offer so much at my table. But I really am considering doing those little terrarium things because they're really cute. And I also do have a shelf that I can use to sell them on, so I might actually do that. Here I was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Why would I do that? But I'm actually like genuinely considering it because it fits with the whimsical theme. Anyways, but yeah, no, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. And if not, we'll start wrapping up shortly. Nice, short, and concise stream. I felt like I had a lot more to say, but I guess I did say everything that I wanted to say. I guess the number one tip I have for everyone going to an event is if you find a seller that you like and you enjoy their stuff, even if you don't buy anything from them, take a business card if it's available, please. It makes me feel so much better when someone takes a business card from the front of my table than when they look over my stuff, point out cute things, and they're like, oh, that's nice, and then they just walk away. That makes me feel just like a display piece. But if you take my business card, it makes me feel like you're interested and might actually go check out my shop later. So that's like my number one advice to anyone that's going to an event with a bunch of vendors. And I just, you know, I wish it was like, you know, not so difficult to be a vendor sometimes. And for anyone who wants to get started being a vendor, all I gotta say is just do it. You know? Take cards every time. Yeah! Exactly! I am a business card fiend. Anytime I go to any sort of event, or if I go to any sort of convention, I always am picking up so many business cards. Literally, the drawer to my left is full of business cards. And I'm trying to sell out of the ones, or I'm trying to use up the ones that I have right now because I want to order like fancy ones from Staples. But I have a bunch of like handwritten, hand-made cards first that I want to go through, so it's a whole thing. But advice to people who want to be vendors, first of all, just be confident in your product and price it to what will pay you back, you know? I'm still kind of iffy on that. I'm still not great at that, but I am getting better. Pay yourself for your time and your transportation. Pay yourself for the event, like the event fee. All events cost a fee. Like spots cost a fee. So be sure that you're charging enough that you're going to cover those fees when you do the event. But the biggest piece of advice is literally just, it's kind of lame, but go on Facebook and look at local events that are happening, or look up your county's vendor event page thing. I guarantee you it exists, and I guarantee that you'll be able to find an event that you will want to participate in or be able to participate in. Start small. Don't automatically shoot for the big leagues, but if there's a spot available on the big leagues, you know, shoot your shot. Because that's what I did with that one event, and I made $300. So, you know, just be confident and don't feel afraid when you see if you see someone selling a similar product than you. It doesn't matter if one's price is more, if one's price is less. Either way, you will offer something different in the long run that they cannot offer. And you just gotta keep that in your mind. But yeah, just go for it. You know, that's the best advice that I can give, is just to go for it. Hey! No! Sorry, the cat is yelling at me. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me blab on about, yes, cat. Hey! You pushed the door open! Hi, Lamine.
I went to substances, you went to college. It's too late to acknowledge our problems.
Anyways, thank you guys for listening to me blab on about this event and about selling online and being a vendor and my ADHD and all of that stuff. Thank you guys for listening to me. I have art commissions open at ko-fi.com/RobinK5, and I've got a Discord exclamation point. Hey! No. Sorry. The cat wants to go in a door that he can't go into.
Nani?
But yeah, no, I've got art commissions open, ko-fi.com/RobinK5. I've got a Discord exclamation point. If anyone has any questions about being a vendor or things like that, feel free to message me. I can attempt to help you guys with that. I'm not an expert by any means, but if you're starting out, I can try to help you. But that's all I got for you guys today. So I'm gonna hop over to the ending screen. I've already kind of did my outro, really, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever time of day it is for you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Money buy corpse, keep fuck for your money, get robbed for your life. Had a plight from the jump, succumb to the night. Got mad for my blood, got death in my mind. Ain't got shit left, best step to me right. No face, no name, I get her. My bitch look just like Misa in my restless dreams.